The year is 3077. The hyperlight starship Starbound glided through the cosmos, its sleek hull reflecting the distant stars. Inside, Captain Alara Vance surveyed the crew, each member absorbed in their tasks, preparing for the descent onto Elysium. The air was thick with anticipation. The energy pulses had disrupted interstellar communications, and the silence of the galaxy weighed heavily on their shoulders. As they approached the planet, a sense of foreboding filled the bridge. Little did they know, they were about to uncover a secret that would change the course of human history forever. Dr. Liu Zhang, the astrophysicist, sat in his chair, eyes fixed on the readouts. His long, slender fingers danced nimbly across the interface, charting the planet's geography and monitoring its anomalous energy signatures. The alien artifact they detected was still a mystery, its purpose and origin unknown. As they drew closer, Zhang's eyes widened in disbelief. Captain, the artifact is buried deep within the planet's core. It's protected by an energy shield. We'll need to land on the surface and find a way to disable it. Mila Reyes, the cybernetically enhanced engineer, tapped her fingers against the armrest of her chair. I can interface with the artifact's control interface remotely. If we can buy me enough time, I might be able to crack the encryption and disable the shield. The crew exchanged glances. It was a risky plan, but their options were limited. Zand, the enigmatic alien being with the ability to perceive time non-linearly, floated in the air, his otherworldly features bathed in the blue light of the control panel. He murmured, "Captain, there is something else, something I cannot quite understand. The energy pulses, they are not random. They form a pattern, a language of sorts, but it is beyond my comprehension. It feels ancient, as if it has been waiting for us." Captain Vance's brow furrowed. "Can you decipher it, Zan? Anything that might give us an edge?" The alien hesitated, his golden eyes flickering. "I am working on it. I cannot promise anything, but I will try." The Odyssey's thrusters fired, guiding the ship toward Elysium's surface. The landing was gentle, and the crew sprang into action. Zhang and Reyes prepared to interface with the artifact, while Vance and Zand oversaw the operation from the surface. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation, and the air was charged with the feeling that something incredible was about to happen. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, and it was up to them to unravel the mystery and save the universe from whatever threat lay hidden within Elysium's core. As Zhang and Reyes worked furiously to interface with the artifact, Vance paced the surface, her eyes scanning the horizon. Zen floated beside her, his gaze intent on the distant stars. He murmured, "Captain, the energy pulses, they are not just random. They form a pattern, a language. And I think I'm beginning to understand it." Inside the ship, Zhang cried out in triumph. "I've got it. The shield is down. Mila, you can interface now." Reyes nodded and began to work her magic. Her fingers flew over the interface, and after several tense moments, she let out a sigh of relief. "I'm in. The artifact is responding. It seems to be an ancient AI of some sort. Can you communicate with it?" Vance asked, hope burning in her voice. I think so. Hello?" There was a pause, and then a disembodied voice filled the ship. Who are you? What do you want with me?" "My name is Captain Alara Vance. We mean you no harm. We're here to help," Vance replied, her voice steady. "We've detected your energy pulses, and we believe you hold the key to understanding what's happening to the galaxy. Can you tell us what's going on?" I am not sure how to explain it. The pulses are part of a code, a message written in the language of energy. It is ancient, and it is powerful. It has been waiting for you, for someone to decode it and set it free. The fate of the galaxy rests in your hands, Captain Vance. What will you do?" The alien AI's voice was haunting, filled with the weight of eons. Vance looked to Zan for guidance, but the alien was deep in thought. Finally, he said, "Captain, I believe. I believe the message is meant for you. Only you can decide its fate." The crew exchanged glances. They knew the decision was not theirs to make lightly. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. What would they choose? Would they decode the message and unleash its power? Or would they keep it hidden, ensuring the safety of all they held dear? The choice was theirs, and it was a choice that would echo through the cosmos for eternity. Captain Vance took a deep breath, her eyes never leaving Zan. "Zan, can you decipher the message?" she asked, her voice steady. "Can you tell us what it says?" The alien AI floated close to her, his golden eyes filled with wisdom. "Yes, Captain. I can attempt to translate the message. But know this, once you have heard it, there will be no turning back. You must be prepared to accept the consequences of your decision." Vance nodded, her heart pounding in her chest. "I understand. Reyes, stand by to receive the translation. Zhang, keep an eye on the energy pulses. And..." She turned to the pilot, her gaze meeting hers. "Prepare to take us where we need to go, no matter the cost." Reyes nodded, her fingers poised over the interface. "I'm ready when you are, Captain." As they waited for Zan to finish translating the message, the tension on the ship was palpable. Each crew member knew that they were about to make a decision that would change the course of history. When Zan finally spoke, his voice was filled with the weight of eons. The message is simple, yet profound. It reads, "The key to eternal peace lies within the hearts of all sentient beings. Seek it not through power, but through understanding and compassion." Vance took a moment to process the words. "So, the choice is ours. We can use the knowledge we gain to help those in need, or we can keep it to ourselves and risk the fate of the galaxy." She turned to the crew, her eyes filled with determination. "I know what I must do. We will decode the message and share its wisdom with the universe. We will be the guardians of this knowledge, and we will use it to bring peace and understanding to all." The crew exchanged glances, each one nodding in agreement. They knew the road ahead would be difficult, but they were ready to face it together. As they prepared to begin their new mission, they couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and responsibility. For they held the fate of the galaxy in their hands, and the choice was theirs to make. Captain Vance turned back to Zan. "Zan, you've been with us since the beginning. You've been our guide and our teacher. Will you stay with us? Help us on this journey?" The ancient alien AI smiled warmly. "Yes, Captain. I will stay. I have watched over you, and I believe in your ability to bring about peace and understanding. Together, we will change the course of history." As they continued to prepare for their new mission, the crew worked in perfect harmony. They knew that every action they took would have far-reaching consequences, and they took their responsibility seriously. They studied the message, discussing its meaning and how best to share its wisdom. They trained to perfect their skills, for they knew that they would face challenges they had never imagined. The ship drifted through the vast emptiness of space, heading toward the nearest inhabited planet. They had no idea what awaited them there, but they were ready to face it head-on. Captain Vance stood at the helm, her gaze fixed on the stars, her heart full of determination and hope. The crew members worked quietly, each lost in their own thoughts, but united by a common purpose. As they drew closer to the planet, they began to pick up faint signals on the comms array. Messages of hope and peace, echoing across the galaxy. It seemed that their actions had already begun to resonate, to spread like ripples in a pond. The crew knew that their journey had only just begun, but they also knew that they were making a difference. They landed on the planet, the ship's hatch opening to reveal a lush, verdant landscape. The air was thick with the scent of flowers and the calls of exotic birds. The crew stepped out onto the ramp, their feet sinking into the soft, yielding soil. They were no longer just a crew, but ambassadors of peace and understanding. They had a message to share, and the fate of the galaxy rested on their shoulders. Captain Vance turned to face her crew, the sunlight glinting off her golden armor. Her voice was strong and clear as she addressed them for the last time. We are about to embark on a journey that will change our lives and the lives of countless others. Let us remember the words of the ancient message. The key to eternal peace lies within the hearts of all sentient beings. Seek it not through power, but through understanding and compassion. Let us be the beacons of hope that the galaxy so desperately needs. With that, they set off into the unknown, their mission clear and their determination unwavering. They would share the ancient message and they would bring peace to the stars. For they were the ones chosen to bear the weight of the world, and they would not let it break them. They were the guardians of the galaxy, and they would not rest until the last ember of hope was rekindled. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. They journeyed from planet to planet, their message spreading like wildfire. Always, they were met with wonder and awe, for the message they carried was unlike anything anyone had ever heard. It spoke of a future where war and strife were but distant memories, where all creatures great and small could live together in harmony. But as they traveled, that first seed of doubt began to grow, nurtured by the whispers of a disbelieving crew member. Captain Vance, once so certain of their mission, found herself questioning everything she had ever known. Was it all just a cruel hoax? A fabrication designed to manipulate them into giving up their own free will? She couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss, that the message was not what it seemed. She tried to ignore the growing unease within her, but it was impossible. Every time they landed on a new planet, every time they shared the ancient message, she could feel the cracks beginning to form in her resolve. And as they journeyed deeper into the heart of the galaxy, the doubts only grew stronger. Finally, Captain Vance could no longer deny the truth. She called a meeting of the crew, their ship hanging in orbit around a verdant world teeming with life. The crew gathered in the cramped mess hall, their faces etched with worry and concern. Captain Vance took a deep breath, steeling herself for what she must say. "I have been questioning the message," she began, her voice barely audible above the din. "I'm not sure if it's real, or if it's all just a lie. I don't know what to believe anymore." There was a long silence, as the weight of her words hung heavy in the air. The crew exchanged glances, unsure of what to say. Finally, one of them spoke up. "Captain, we've all had our doubts. But we've come too far to turn back now. We have to keep going. We have to believe that the message is true, even if we don't know it ourselves." Captain Vance nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. "You're right," she said, her voice trembling. "We can't give up. We have to keep fighting for peace, even if we're not sure what the truth is. Because the message has brought us together, and it has given us a purpose. And as long as we have that, we can't lose." With renewed determination, Captain Vance addressed her crew. "I understand your concerns, but we cannot afford to let them divide us. We must remain united in our mission, no matter what challenges we face. I believe that the message holds the key to bringing peace to the galaxy, and I will not abandon that belief. But I also understand that each of you must find your own path. If anyone feels that they cannot continue, they are free to leave." There was a moment of silence as her words hung in the air. The crew members exchanged glances, their expressions conflicted. They had journeyed together for so long, faced countless dangers, and now their bond was being tested in a way they never could have imagined. First Mate Eve stepped forward, her posture resolute. "Captain, I believe in you and the message. I may not know everything about it, but I trust that you will lead us to the truth. I'm in this until the end." Her words seemed to inspire the others, and one by one they nodded in agreement, their eyes shining with determination. Captain Vance was touched by their loyalty, but she couldn't help but feel a weight pressing down on her shoulders. Despite their show of support, she knew that there was still doubt lingering in the air. And as they continued on their journey, the challenges they faced would only serve to test their resolve. They visited worlds where the message of peace was received with open arms, and others where it was met with suspicion and hostility. They faced treacherous terrains, ruthless enemies, and their own inner demons. But through it all, they remained united, their bond forged in the fires of adversity. It was during one such battle, against an especially relentless foe, that Captain Vance found herself wrestling with her own doubts once again. As she fought to keep their ship from being destroyed, she couldn't help but wonder if they were making a difference at all. Was the message truly meant to save the galaxy, or was it just a pipe dream? The questions swirled around her head, making it hard to concentrate on the task at hand. She couldn't help but think back to that fateful day when the message had first appeared, seemingly out of nowhere, transmitted across every frequency known to man. It had spoken of a time of great strife, when the galaxy teetered on the brink of destruction. It had promised a way forward, a path to peace. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into years, Captain Vance found herself again wondering if perhaps it was all just a hoax. The enemy ship loomed closer, its weapons systems powering up. Captain Vance's heart raced, her palms growing sweaty on the controls. She glanced over at First Mate Eve, who was staring back at her with unwavering support. But deep down, she knew that the cracks were beginning to show. There were whispers among the crew, murmurs of doubt and disbelief. The message had brought them together, but now it threatened to tear them apart. Come back next week for the part 2 of this sci-fi adventure. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it.